3, 2, 1, end of test. King with a go.
Well, hello there, and welcome to another edition of Warbird Wednesday. My name is Fred Bell, and I am the Vice Chairman of the Palm Springs Air Museum. Today, we are going to look at the AR-2. I'm sure I destroyed that. The last dive bomber we're looking at, the AR-2. Now, this was a small Soviet-era dive bomber that fought during the war, fought with distinction, fought right at the beginning of the German onslaught. But first, Jason, what is this?
Welcome to the Himalayas!
I don't even know what this is. This is like, I feel like it should be in like one of those sock puppet videos or something. It's pretty scary. Anyways, the AR-2 was built in relatively small numbers, and we do not have one, but we're going to go with a B-26. So I'll go ahead and throw up a plan view of the B-26, and Greg in post can throw up the AR-2. This will fill my hands. Now, the AR-2 was built in relatively small numbers. This was the last effort to extend the lifespan of the SB bomber that was originally designed in 1934. Good old Alexander Arkhangelski, who designed it, he was allowed to take over after Andrei Tupolev had been locked up in the Great Purge. And the Russians did not, we've talked about it before, they spared no one. If for some reason Stalin got out of bed the wrong way, they were thrown in prison. Even people that were mission critical, like Tupolev, very critical to the Russian aviation industry and war effort, and they really spared no one there was no one that they didn't like. Let's put it that way. Now, the first flight of this aircraft was in 1940. The big difference was it had a new wing. It had 15% more power. It also had a different bomb sight, a new bomb sight put in it. Now, this is all pre-war. The major problems with it with the new engine were cooling and defensive armament. Soviet bombers had a big problem during the war that they just did not have. They had speed, and we've talked about that. Some of the Soviet bombers were very fast and could actually run away from German fighters. But in this case, that was not to be. And the Russians just couldn't fight them off. And you have to remember, most German air superiority fighters at that time were flying with cannons, with large cannons, and they were just devastating if they got in close against these aircraft. So this thing, it had some cooling problems, and it couldn't defend itself very well. So production started in 1940, just before the war started, and guess what happened, Jason? Any idea? Half of the AR-2s were wiped out in the first German offensive. They got completely wiped out. And, the Soviet forces were pulling back. And I don't need to give you a history lesson in that really the Russian winter and just the sheer expanse of Russia itself pretty much wore the Germans out. And you can argue with me in the comment section, but that brings me to my salute. And my salute today is to the Russian Soviet aircraft designers. You could say what you want about Russia, and you could say what you want about the Soviet Union, but they really did move the ball, along with the British and the French early on, in innovation in flight. And we wouldn't be where we were if there weren't some of those innovations. So although we have the Cold War and all the other rub that we have with them, the reality was that their aircraft designers were quite prolific, and we're going to salute them today. And we're going to do the salute with pumpkin spice tonic. Is this like I rub it in my hair? What is this? A delicious, distinctive flavor A pleasant elixir. An elixir. Does have a California cash refund. I'm nervous about this. 160 calories. I cannot stand pumpkin pie. Now that had a poof there, so it's carbonated, and it's slightly above cooler than room temperature. So to the Soviet aircraft designers and to the Russian aircraft designers, I salute you. Thank you for moving the ball, although we wish you were engaged in more peaceful pursuits presently. God bless you.
And you know what's on everyone's mind? Pumpkin spice.
That's disgusting. You know, every once in a while you give me one of these and the finish on it is just atrocious. And that's this. I took too big a swig, one little swig. That is absolutely atrocious.
Is something quite atrocious.
So the Russians fought on. Of course, the United States would kind of bail them out with Lend-Lease. They got a lot of help. They got their own production going. And eventually, there's no way around it. The Russians suffered horrific casualties. And eventually, the Allies won the war. And, you know, it was absolutely atrocious what happened. The aircraft, this AR-2, was finally withdrawn in 1943, although sadly, I have looked, and some of you may know where one of these types exists. I cannot find that a single type survived the war, and that is the epitaph on the AR-2, the last dive bomber that we are going to cover in our series. We're going to do some really interesting airplanes on the next one. Jason, I have to comment on something. These are one-take videos, non-scripted. We just blow right through it. Some guy did not like my pants. What's wrong with my pants?
You wake up in the morning, you say, I put on my big boy pants.
What do you think? Do they look all right? I'm dressed up for St. Patrick's Day. It's St. Patrick's Day today. I do not belong to the sisterhood of the traveling pants, but this is a Warbird channel. I thank you for your comments on my fashion statement. Now, I just thought it was quite odd. If you love a good book, and this is actually, we're going to have Don Miller here this coming Saturday for his talk on Masters of the Air, along with Kirk Sandusky, that produced the series. This is a great book. I encourage you to get it. And you can click on that link, and Don will immediately write one copy for you. No, he won't, but it was a nice thought. But happy to send that book off to you. We cannot do what we do without your shekels. I'm standing in front of one of Hitler's Wunderwaffens, the ME-262. This is a facsimile. This actually came out of a museum in Austria, I think, as I recall, and this is the first Axis aircraft we've ever had in the collection, but it's really not an aircraft, it's a replica. So it's a replica 262. We can't do this without your shekels, so if you will click on that link, donate a few bucks. That's how we keep all the airplanes flying and the exhibits going. If you look down in the comment section, you can see that our education links are down there. Click on those. Those are free. You can do one lesson or a whole bunch of lessons at home if you're homeschooling the kids. Take advantage of that. That's our free gift to you. If you came across us on Facebook and you came across us on YouTube, give us a like and a comment, preferably not about my pants. And we would be happy to get that. If you have aircraft you want us to cover, I got a viewer suggestion, so this next series is going to be on a viewer suggestion. I cover a lot of very interesting aircraft, so you'll see that coming up. But give us a like or a comment and a subscription on YouTube. My name is Fred Bell. I am the Vice Chairman of the Palm Springs Air Museum. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
3, 2, 1, end of test. King with a go.
Rise
today. All my fears have gone away. I guess this means I'm here to stay. Yeah, I'm ready to fly, ready to fly. Wasn't long ago I shook at the thought of being hooked. But ever since I wrote my book, I'm ready to fly, ready to fly.
Come along and join us, Rick and Pluggy in the simulator. We'll teach you how to dance and be the perfect